Oh, that's good. Where do they come from? Freeling? Netball. Oh, right. They play netball in Freeling too, do they? Oh, that's good.
They try.
Oh, that's where we're at. Well, aren't we the bright ones? This is good. How are you feeling, Mum? All right. You're looking well. Yes. Look gorgeous. How would you feel like being this week's Leader's centre page? Would you like that?
You're doing a bit of maintenance there.
There must be.
Oh, you're making it beautiful.
Oh, putting a ribbon in my hair.
That's what you're doing. Is there something like that? Yeah.
The meal is ended, so we'll all wash our faces. Ah, this is easier, knowing your traces. There's always one at every party, isn't there? Oh my God.
Do you remember it being filmed?
Most probably not.
Long time ago.
Oh my God. The meal is ended.
It's changed. I remember.
Oh, it's growing.
I remember when the bistro went in next to the Miles's newsagent. Remember the bistro?
Yes.
Do you remember the bistro?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you eat there?
Yes.
How was it?
Beautiful.
Their crumb brains were top of the list. They were lovely.
Jill, what's her name, was running the bistro. When she set that up, that was an absolute goldmine. So.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have? There you go.
Remember the bistro?
Yes, yes.
That would have been the first.
Yes, it would have, because that was in early days where you didn't have those sort of things so much around the place.
Not at all, really.
No, so
there
that
were
was
the two pubs. And
yeah, that was it. Yeah, just the two pubs. And, yeah.
Yeah, fine dining in Angaston. Who would have thought it?
Yeah.
And people were saying, a restaurant in Angaston, it'll never work.
Well, we owned that. I owned that, or we did.
Still do.
It was a butcher shop. Originally, it was a garage.
Oh.
It was a petrol station when it first started.
Is that right, that building?
Yeah. That's why it's got the big front doors to drive car in.
Oh, okay. No, the bistro, I'm talking about the just next to Miles's newsagent. Is that so? That was
a petrol station.
It was a petrol station. Okay.
Like in the 40s, 50s.
Yeah, right.
Angaston Motors, to be precise.
It was what, sorry?
It was Angaston Motors.
Right.
That's where they started off.
Is it the one that moved up the road?
Yeah. Lindsay Porter and his father was, oh shoot, what was his name? Mr. Porter.
Yep, and it would have been like a garage mechanic sort of workshop.
Yeah, like a real petrol station, not like these days.
Yeah.
Then it was a butcher shop.
Yeah, right.
And well, then the bistro, and now it's like a coffee shop.
Yep, and now there's 100 restaurants and coffee shops.
Yeah, as long as you got your wallet with you, you can get a feed in Angaston anyway.
And then, what was his name? That started the bistro?
Blackwell, was it?
Yes, you're right. Blackwell. And then, yes.
He married a local girl, I think, and that was, that's how he happened to be there, I think, so.
Well, he had lots and lots of ideas, and I must say I didn't agree with a lot of it, but we went along. God, that's going back a few years too. Can't remember the actual conversations. He and I weren't the best of mates. But, well, what happened was the building that's there now belonged to the
Kevin Roller, builder.
No, let me finish.
Sorry.
Well, it was, what was the name of the place he wanted to?
Oh, the museum.
Museum. Well, first of all, I was going to tell you the story that the news agency in the deli, which is there, that was our business. Some years ago, Kevin Roddick came into me. He owned the
Lucky.
he owned the bistro building, and the other one was what was there? Well, there's two other shops.
Oh,
there.
the TAB
Oh, that's right.
was in there.
He had he owned the TAB and whole freehold, and the other one. He came to me one day and he said, "I'm starting up a museum at Darien, and I need some money. I want to settle this place, the shops." He said, "You're the logical fella to buy them." And I said, "Oh yes." And he said, and I said, "How much do you want for it?" He said, $64,000. Put out my hand, shook him. He said, "Shit, I should have charged more."
What would it be worth now, Neville?
Oh, you could put a 4 at least in front of that.
Yep.
What else do you remember? Do you remember the Jenny's sewing machine and that block of building?
It's still there.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's always been there.
Yes, yes, she's still running it.
Jenny.
Jenny, yeah, what's her name? I don't know whether she's married or not now.
I don't think so. No.
But she's run it for years and years.
How long, Jenny?
29th of July 1977.
That's a while.
48 years.
Mm.
This is what it was like when we first took over. I mean, we had all salt damp in that
Wow.
corner, so that was all chipped out, all plastered. PowerPoints.
Gosh.
Yeah, we did a lot with it. And that's the corner there. Well, the fireplace, we turned it into storage.
Cupboards, yep.
Yeah. It was amazing. We were setting all this up, and this lady, Mrs. Krockenberger, she came in and she said she was shifting or selling because she was going to go to Melbourne to be with her daughter Julia. And she said she's got this tennis table. She said, "Would you like it?" Mm. And I went up there, and you see how solid it is.
That's it.
I said, "Yes, please, yes, please," because it's solid enough to handle the weight of the machines, which was, and there's a good solid cutting table, and yes, had a machine on the other side, and you direct all your classes.
So it was a godsend.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
and there's the table. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. PowerPoints. Mm-hmm. Helping hand, storage, that was from the Vintage Festival floats. Mm-hmm. I was involved with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, then we had to put the staircase in.
Oh yes, yes.
So yes, we've done a lot to it in the time that we've had it.
She was 40 years younger and had $1 million in a pocket. She could make that shop 5 times the size it is now, put a couple of good staff on and someone to do her bloody books, and she'd be a squillionaire. They come from far and wide to do business with her.
They do.
And it amazes me that they do, because you can't move in the bloody joint. You walk on the floor, it squeaks and groans. We've been looking after it for yonks. And every time I go in, oh shit.
Mm-hmm. But that's what brings them, I guess, so much stuff.
Yeah, but she's really good at what she does, so really, really good at it. So, but I don't know what she's now, 75, 76, I think, so don't tell her I said that. But but she's getting to the stage of, it is going to get too much for her. But she's still basically on her own.
48 years and going strong.
Yeah.
Then we put the fabric in, and then we had to put carpet in down here.
Yes.
And we put in carpet upstairs, so we had to shift all this stuff around so we could get the carpet in, and then eventually gets put in new stands.
It was less cluttered then.
We hadn't started patchwork yet.
Ah, that was the
And once we started, see, that's all fashion, and those poles stand. But you find any patchwork shop, we all end up like this. And apparently there's one up in Roma in Queensland. His shop got that full, he had to go 2 doors down, and he started filling that as well.
Gosh.
I think there's a couple that even down south, there's a lot. We all just, this is what happens, whether we...
Lucky you've got a basement.
Oh, I tell you, you know, like with the table, when eventually, you know, did the table, and bit by bit we put shelving and cutting space, and then I put another lot of cupboards there. And then I thought, well, right, we need the urn. And that tap was already there. All I had to do was cut it off at the level so that it would sit over the urn. You know, and I think, you know, sometimes you can't make some of this stuff up.
Yes.
It just, some of these things just fall into place, and when that happens, you know, it's meant to be. It was like the building was waiting for whatever I wanted to.
It was waiting for you, Jenny.
Yes, almost, yes. And yes, my brother, my sister, these were taken a while ago.
Yes.
A long while ago.
80s, 90s probably.
80s, yes. And that was some of the garments we would display, make and display, do classes. And then we had somebody...
Oh, crash into the shop.
Oh.
I saw that happen.
What happened?
This buffhead comes down Penrose Road before the garden was there. So you could, it's the old, what we used to call the post office corner. He'd come around there, and he just kept coming around. And the driver left the scene of the crime halfway through the U-turn, and that's what it wound up being. So he fell out, landed on the bitumen. And I was pulling out of my driveway, and I couldn't believe what I was watching. Anyway, next minute, whack, into the bloody, into the shop. And I'd have another, you know, I'd stop where I was and hopped out the car and have a look. And the driver, he's picked himself up and dusted himself off and headed straight for the pub. Well, there's a copper, I can't remember how the coppers got there, but there was a copper there in about 10 seconds flat, it felt like. And as this bloke's got one step up on the step, one foot up on the step, getting into the door, and this copper's grabbed him by the scruff of the neck. Oi, come back here! So they sat him down over here and had a bit of a chat about it. So I really don't know what the outcome of that was, but he, it's a sliding door, you know, those old transit vans or whatever. But the door was, wasn't properly shut. But as he's going around, he fell out and the thing just kept going round. I can't remember whether there was anyone else in there or not, but the car, the only thing that stopped the car was Jenny's shop. So, it could have wound up in the creek. So, but I actually saw it happen. It's fascinating.
That was, I think it was when the dole was a big thing.
Right.
And of course, they'd go down to Newry, cash their dole checks, go to the pub, get an
Tanked up.
Yes, and this lady, one hot night, she was, and this was before they fixed up this intersection, there was a big sweeping curve they come around, and she come around, she had her door open, and as she was going out around that, she fell out the door.
Oh.
And the vehicle kept on going.
Wow. Well, she reckons it was a lady driver.
There was a big sweeping curve.
I don't think so. It was a bloke that got scruffed.
But she didn't actually see it. So.
No.
So yes, that was, and that took a while to get that.
So it ended up in the shop?
Yes, yes. Well, you can see, yes.
Yeah.
So, and I was doing a class here that night. Smithy was good.
Tell me about him.
Well, he's the insurance guy, but he's always involved with Angaston stuff, with football and staunch Angastonian.
He is.
So he would have a few stories to tell. So yes.
Yeah, I remember at first, yeah, it was a bit iffy, but once she got going, it just grew and grew. So she never ever looked back. So, in fact, I still think she's held herself back by not putting head down, bum up, and right, let's let's spread this thing out a bit, So, but she's very highly regarded by the by the people she deals with, the businesses that she sells machines for. They're pretty sure the sun shines out of her. So
I think she's Benina's top seller.
Yeah. They.
Sorry.
She used to work for Condor Lauke, Sir Condor Lauke. She was a bookkeeper or something like that over at the. Had a little office in the old site at Greenock, in the original mill area. Yeah.
Gotcha. What was Angaston like when you first arrived?
I was working out of the town and didn't know other than sleeping here. There was not a lot that I knew about it. So when this came up for rent or it was available, I thought, that's my shop. And so, yes, I quit my job and opened it. And yes, got the same response. Sewing shop in Angaston. Wow. 48 years and she's still here.
How did it go to start with?
The first year was, well, that was a battle. I mean, it was getting things going. A lot of people, I think, sewers were pleased. Then I started to teach the stretch knit sewing classes and it just took off. And it's been, and I concentrated on the teaching side, the selling of machines. Yes, probably most of the Angaston folk have either Benina sewing machine or a machine that I've sold them. So they're supportive from that point of view.
Has the town grown very much?
When I started, there was four empty shops here in Angaston. They've now filled, and I reckon they've built another 4 since. Gotcha. So the street has expanded. Yes, it's changed. A lot of it has changed in what they do, but yeah, the street's looking good these days. And it's getting known. Well, there's the shop that now does art. There's a lot of things that are happening more art orientated. We did an art craft trail for the Vintage Festival. Went well. So yes, it has grown a lot. A lot of tourists will come through and they just say, "We like Angaston the best." They just say, they just volunteer it. We don't have to prompt it. And yes, it's
well, it was a sleepy little corner, but of course now it is probably got more coffee shops than any of the 3 major towns.
I think Tanunda would go probably Tanunda would give us a run, but we get a lot of tourists. I get a lot of tourists, and I mean, I get girls from interstate. One morning I had somebody in from Tassie, late in the day somebody from Perth, but patchworkers or quilters, they chase fabric. And where there's a quilting shop, that's where they go. And of course this end of town works very well. They can have coffee, they can come and have their fabric. If they've got cheese tasting happening across the road, it makes it a good little end of town. And if they want fine dining, well, across the road you've got the Italian one, you've got the Wanera, and further up the street, yes, there's other bakeries, coffee shops. So yes, and they're all good.
It's a destination town.
Yeah, and that's what it's becoming. Yes. Yes.
And I was in there only a couple of weeks ago and I said, "Gee, I'd hate to do the stock taking in this." She said, "Tell me about it." But she said she gets somebody in to do it. So it's just packed with stuff. And she has a cellar underneath, and she runs classes for sewing.
It used to be the old billiard saloon.
Yes, down below, yeah.
See, if you can see the wiring from drop-down lights for billiard tables.
Yes, the stock taking. You do have a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Has it always
A lot of stuff.
been so chock-a-block?
No, but it grows. I had a rep in yesterday. And, I mean, these were all teaching tables, and that was cutting space. but all quilt shops are like this. They just, it just grows and you get more and more. And quilters, they want a choice. At the moment we've got a pile there. This lady comes from, I think, the other side of Mildura. She's been here before.
Oh, hang on, just let me move that microphone. That's all right, just on there. That's it, sorry, go on.
And she bought a picture of the quilt that she made. It was impeccable, absolutely beautiful.
Using fabric from here?
Yeah, yeah. And because that one worked so well, she came back here last week and with a husband. He said he cuts, she sews, so it's teamwork. They both know exactly what they're doing. So we've got a pile of fabric of what they went through to choose the fabrics for their quilt.
Wow.
And I'm sure this one will come back equally as impressive as the one that she did.
And they're obviously from somewhere else.
Oh.
Coming in.
Mildura.
Gosh.
Oh. It's surprising how, like I say, patchwork and quilters travel. They travel. And it's the one shop that stayed. It's the one shop that lasted. There's only about 3. Okay, the hotel is still there.
Yep.
Miles's are still there.
Yep.
Angaston Motors, whilst it's changed owners, but that business is still there.
Yep.
Supermarket is still there.
Yeah, it used to be Yodunda's.
Yes.
Which is a blast from the past.
Well, I think you'll find they still own the building, the property.
Really? So Yodunda's still exists?
Oh yes. If you look up, Facebook or YouTube or Google it, yes, they are.
And that's the shop that my grandparents had.
Well,
Their names were?
Swan.
And what year did they start it?
I'm not sure, but they were certainly at their heyday about 1900. And eventually they did sell to Yodunda Farmers when they became quite a chain of shops, of course. Yodunda Farmers were born in the recession years, in the depression years, I think.
So they still own it, but they...
Yeah, it is actually still owned by Yodunda Farmers. Yodunda Farmers Limited is their title. They, I don't really know. I think they got up to about 16 or 18 stores around the state. They actually originated in Yodunda when a severe drought was on up there, and the cockies to get money grubbed out mallee roots and so on. Loaded up train loads apparently, sent it all off to Adelaide to sell, and that kept the farmers and mum and the kids all fed, and that's where it started, and that's what it grew from.
So it was a cooperative?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And of course, Yodunda was their first
shop
setup.
Yep. Yep. So would it have been your family built the old building, the original one?
I don't know who built the actual place.
But they were the first ones to have a supermarket, sort of a store? Not a supermarket then, but a store.
A store, yeah.
Yep.
And my grandparents, they were agents for buying even agricultural implements, I believe they dealt with, and selling farm produce onto to businesses in Adelaide. There's one funny story about the eggs that were sent with trading, but that's a long story. So
tell us. It's not a bad time to tell us.
Apparently it actually happened. In the old days they used to send produce like eggs in wooden barrels. Sawdust, and pack the eggs in there. There'd be so many dozen would go into these kegs, and they'd be sent off, and the return had come back on the produce sent a few days later. So many good eggs, so many bad, broken, cracked. And this went on for a while, and the farmer concerned, and of course there wasn't anything to do with my grandparents. He wasn't in the he was just acting
He was
as
the agent, the intermediary. Yep.
But after a while, this farmer thought he was getting a, pardon the pun, a rotten deal, and decided that he'd pack up a keg about the same weight with some limestone instead of the eggs. So he sent that away, and a few days later back came the return, so many cracked, so many broken, so many bad.
So it was a standard report.
It was a little while later, all hell broke loose. But there was the returns, sorry, and of course things were better after that.
Yes, he'd made his point.
Basic story.
Yeah, but you've got that black and white one down there.
Yeah, that's the one. That's a photo of the stall at the corner.
The one that became your Dundas, or?
Yeah.
Yep. Great. Tell me about it.
Well, Bill's family goes way back. This is the original corner store that Bill's family started on the corner.
Yeah, that goes back to 1900, that this photo in this book's all about, and it was quite a thriving business in those days, sort of a bit more than what the shop is now. That's more grocery lines, but those days it was an agency for farmers to bring their eggs and farm produce to go on to Adelaide, and there was a few stories about some of the trading and that in those days. John Swan, my grandfather, was a very prominent businessman in the town and had quite a bit to do with the politics around the railway station and the line to Angaston, which was built early 1900s.
And what was the politics around that? Where they were going to put them?
Where the line was to go, where the station was to go. There was some talk about it being up where the old flour mill was up the main street, or down in the cutting that you come up from Newry to Angaston. But they settled on the present site where it is now, which is a beautiful park for the kids and
it is. We go
history
there
makers.
I have an 11-year-old who's very fond of it.
Yeah.
And we tried and we rode the bikes on the rail trail.
Yes.
To Newry.
Yes.
I had to ride back again because there was a bit of a headwind going back, and so I left them at the train park in Newry, and I had to ride back and get the car.
Yeah, but that's good too. And the adventure park they've got there at the old station, fantastic for kids.
It is.
Oh.
In those days, everything went by rail, and it was the railhead which would have brought business into the town from further places further east, etc., and farm produce.
Yep.
So that was good at the time. And
yep.
Took too long. The journey was a long journey. I came on the train a bit in the early days, and yeah, it wound around.
There's a comprehensive book on the politics and the building of the line that I have here, and also with our Plush history of Light Pass, the line to Truro was important to us because of the Plush's corner sign you might have seen.
I did note that. I was going to ask if that's the real thing.
It is, yeah, it is.
And so
I managed to find it and get it restored.
Where did you find it?
Bordertown.
Bordertown. Yeah. Somebody collected it?
Yes.
It's only a neighbour that saw it because of his relatives had property down there, and they'd bought some other salvage material in the way of sleepers and so on.
Right.
And so we got it back.
Yep.
After many years, and we put it near the site.
Near where it used to be.
Where the station was.
Yeah.
And our family sent fruit by rail. There'd be a wagon dropped off, and they'd send fruit to canneries in Adelaide in the 1930s and 40s period. From there, so that's all gone now. no canneries, no rail lines, so. And no fruit.
Not much
A lot of the fruit's gone. And the history of Angaston revolved a lot around the fruit industry,
Yes.
packing sheds, etc. It's changed a lot.
Yep. And of course Angus Park's gone.
Yes.
Gone, yes.
Been gone a long time.
Yeah. The name still exists, but it's changed hand.
We didn't
business
support Angus Park. We went to the Fruit Growers, which is the one opposite the Institute. That used to be, it's a hardware store now, but that used to be a packing place as well, didn't it?
It was a little cooperative.
Yeah, co-op.
And of course there was Gawler Park.
Yes.
Gawler Park, yeah, that was
Blasay and all that stuff, you know.
That was Clifton Thorne.
Yeah.
Which is where the Continental was held. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, that started there, didn't it?
Yeah.
They decided they wanted to do some money. Churches always wanting to raise money, and so they set it up. They used to have it up there once a year.
Yes, that's right.
Which was terrific.
It was.
The thing I remember about it, just before I let you loose on it, was the little pasties and the little
That's right.
turnovers.
Yeah, that's right.
We know who made those.
Joan Young.
Go on then.
Oh, Joan Young made all those. Yeah, fabulous.
Joan Young.
What a wonderful.
Yeah, well, she made the best pasties, didn't she? She did dozens.
Remember them?
Indeed, yeah. She used to cater for things like the football club, and that's how I knew her husband too, Ross, reasonably well.
But they were good pasties.
Oh yes.
She did dozens and dozens of. She'd have a gang up there at her place, and they'd all knew how to make up her pasties. Yeah.
She did, that's right.
Marvellous, they were lovely.
Yeah.
And they were very much sought after.
Joan's pasties.
Yeah, Joan's pasties.
And the Continentals are huge. Like everyone was
They
there.
were. Was a lot of work. Was a lot of work.
Would have been a lot of work. What stopped it? The amount of work involved, or?
Oh, no, I don't know really what stopped it. Actually, I suppose when Thorne sold their business, we no longer had the venue up there, did we? Because for the Continental at Thorne's, he got his workmen or ladies to set everything up. You see, it was all sort of ready to do for us to walk in and take over. But no, we
it was a good money, yeah.
Oh,
and a great family.
Barbecue.
The whole town was there, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the food was terrific.
Yes, that's right. And then we'd put on a bit of a concert thing.
And then the primary school would put on the concert there.
Yes.
I remember the Tamara. There would have been Kelly Lange. There would have been Tanya Vaughan and their friends. They put on a bit of a dance thing, and it was that Hey Mickey song.
We did Mickey. Oh, did you? The cheerleading one?
You did, and it was great. Kelly was up there.
Yep, Kelly. What's her name? Tina Binding.
Oh, was Monica in that as well?
Yeah, I think so.
She would have been.
Kelly.
Yeah, it was great.
I was out the front. Pam Chinner, maybe?
Yeah, she would have. Oh my God.
But the Continental was great because they had the little apple turnovers and the little parties. Because I think the Continental went in the 80s as well.
I can't even remember.
I remember buying, you know, the doily toilet roll with the lady.
In Gawler Park?
Yeah. At Gawler Park Fruits, yeah, every year.
But you don't remember it, Liz?
No.
You don't remember the Continental?
You must have gone to the Continental.
You would have been.
The church.
It's bigger than the Angaston show. It's like at school always used to do performances. I remember we did that tinkling one. Yeah.
We'd set up the dried fruit sweat boxes to make a stage out of.
Yeah.
And,
they put on a bit of a concert thing.
There'd be what they'd call the grand finale, which was all the old fellas dressed up in all sorts of gear for some sort of I'd do Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And, there was Grumpy and
pantomime
sort of things. Because that was all a great event for the kids and adults too to enjoy. But yeah, it was a big thing, and a lot of people used to come to that.
It was huge.
There was a lot of work went into it as well.
Yeah,
Everybody had stalls.
It was a huge thing.
You know.
But I can had early memories of going to Angaston from here in the old Morris truck, 1928 truck, to cart dried fruit to the Angaston Co-op, which was just down from the church there on Sturt Street.
Where the hardware store?
Yeah, where the hardware store is.
The hardware store now, the the co-op folded up eventually through lack of supply, and times were changing in the fruit industry. And
Turkish imports.
Yeah, Turkish imports.
That was the biggest thing.
Yeah, a lot of.
Sorry, that's just slipped over there.
Give it.
I'll put it on your shirt, Bill. There you go. Now we're solid.
Yep.
Yep.
Whoops. Got to get amongst all these bits.
Anyway, I used to be fascinated by the old grading equipment that they had in this, and probably some of that's still there at the back there, I wouldn't doubt, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bit of a family, a very good atmosphere with the trading and how they would assist growers, supplied spray materials and hardware that were growers' supplies. We got most of our basic materials for the farm or the orchard from there, because we had 40 odd acres of fruit in those days. So apricots was the big crop in those days, and peaches and pears. But all the apricots were dried, and there was tons of dried apricots from the property here, and the district supplied to the packing sheds in Angaston. There was four in the early days.
Packing sheds?
Packing sheds, yes. One up near the primary school, which was Crow and Newcombe, where I think the swimming
pool there, the school.
Yeah, somewhere there that the school still got, I think. And there was Gawler Park and Angus Park and the Fruit Growers Co-op. Earlier still was other packing done by smaller operators. The Nitschke had a packing shed, and there's others that packed dried fruit in the earlier days. So it was all, and that employed a lot of people around the town, of course, worked in those facilities.
Big time. You worked at Angus Park?
I did work at Angus Park for...
It was huge?
For 20
really?
years, yes.
It was busy, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
What did you do there?
I started on the lines, apricot line, then the sultana line, and finished up in the laboratory.
Really? There you go. How many people worked there?
Oh, golly, I wouldn't...
Hundreds?
Yeah, there was quite a few. Lots, yeah.
There were 3...
And then they expanded it. You know, put those big sheds in and for storage, and then shifted the sultana line, and yes, it was great. And once it got out of local hands, it sort of just started going downhill. You could see the writing on the wall that it was going to go,
Yep. It's unfortunately still not used at the moment.
No, no. I think the wineries use the big sheds, some of the wineries for
they would.
Storage,
How many people were working at the cement works when you were there?
In its heyday, there was about 160, but 180 was tops when... I'm not quite sure when that was, late 50s or something, a little bit before I got there,
Which is significant.
Oh, yes.
Well, it used to be the fruit packing, your lumber and the cement works.
That's really...
Well, your lumber too was fruit as well in the early days.
But they were your 3 employing places, weren't they?
Yeah.
Mainly then.
Yeah.
Well, what do they do now? Work in cafes?
Yeah, in cafes. The cement works are still going.
Well, they're still making wine.
Yeah, and your lumber's still doing really well.
And Saltram's is doing great.
Yeah.
Everyone loves pepper jack.
Yeah. And so, and then there's been some of the ones that have got into farming, and the farmers market helps a lot now down here. I love my favourite place, farmers market.
It's always packed.
Yeah, it is. It's good, but they've encouraged then people to do some of these things, like the people that come there, because Mari up the hill here now, she's the main one with producing fruit, isn't she? Locally, Mari.
So your lumber is supplying a little bit.
Yeah. But she's doing it much more, and of course Gully Gardens, Ricky Stikey out on Gawler Park Road. Somebody new got that now, but that was they've all done well. Ricky was the one that set up I think more so after Angus Park closed, because Angus Park was really popular for its outlet for dried fruit, and people would go, you know, come there. There were busloads of people come there, and then that closed. So he set up his little shop out there, and he was really good at what he produced, and Rosemary was good at packaging, and so they had a good business out there. I'd go there to buy gift packs and things because, you know, they were local stuff. He did a lot for the local industry like that to carry it on, try to carry it on. So he would have been still growing, and they're still growing fruit out there, the people that have bought it from him.
For some years, I worked for Jim and Margaret Ellis on their range
After
of
we
properties,
sold.
Tree Valley Orchards, and they were really big. They were, bigger dried fruit producers in the country, really, particularly in pears and that type of thing, but they dried a lot of apricots.
They did. I worked for them.
Yeah, I think everybody worked for Ellis's.
Summer holidays?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, before that, though, I meet people now and they say that, oh, it worked for us over here, so in his day. But, yeah, because that was school holiday money for most of the kids.
Yep.
Yeah, I worked at the Plushes.
Did you?
There during school holidays, yeah.
Yep.
The Bill's dad, back in those days, that was, around about, 1959, 58 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And what were you doing out there? You were involved with the cutting or the picking?
Cutting to start with, and then I was removing the dried apricots from the trays after they'd been sulphured.
Yep.
And putting them all in boxes. Just taking them off the trays, cleaning the trays, and restacking them. Yeah.
There's a picture of that here in a sec.
You know, I don't know what they do now, but I mean, over here, we used to have lots of kids or uni students that would come and work to do the fruit season because you earn money.
Cutting apricots.
Yeah, that's
I remember
right.
the slabs.
Yes,
that's right.
The best ones are the slabs.
They are the tastiest.
Yeah, they are, for sure. So that was sort of all, you know, that was all interesting.
But I remember the apricots used to get in all your clothing.
Oh yeah, you get covered in, yes, but it was always good fun. It was.
It was, but I remember you wouldn't worry about washing your work stuff until the end of the season.
No point. The next day would be as bad as the one before.
I remember everything would be like stiff as a board.
Yes, absolutely. But it was good.
Whereabouts are you from, Mary?
I'm from firstly from the Adelaide Hills. I grew up first at Balhana and went to Oakbank Area School, and then we moved to the city and went to Brighton High, and then went to Teachers College, and then met Bill.
Yep.
Came to the Barossa Valley. Yeah, so that's it.
The rest is history.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep. Because we met at Angaston, you see.
Right.
Years ago, they used to have Easter camps.
Yep.
At Angaston, and I came up from the city to the Easter camp and met him.
Right.
They were held up in the park.
Yeah.
The,
show hall was part of the
fairly basic facilities, but we managed those days.
You wouldn't be allowed to now, because we all slept on the floor on palliasses and.
Oh yes, it was
really rough stuff.
Good stuff.
But I've not yet heard any stories of the billiard room. I would have thought there's got to be somebody that's got a story of who did what, where down here in the billiard room. I haven't heard anything. So anyway, but everything changes, doesn't it?
Well, the news agency used to be down there.
Yes.
He was next door. As a news agent. This was the chemist shop. Young's the chemist. But as a news agent, yes, I believe that was next door.
So Young's were upstairs and a billiard room down under the chemist?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and I think Elders GM had their office down here at some stage or other too, whether it was after the billiard room or I don't know enough about Angaston history.
It all happened so quickly. It was a decision I had to make on the spur of the moment. And
How so?
Well, a chappie by the name of Doug Mutton came to me one day and he said, Roger, he said, if I buy the news agency, will you do the deliveries? And I said, no. Doug? No, I said, I'll take the lot. Well, he said, well, you can have it. Anyway, so we came to the stage of doing the stock taking, and we were down in this old cellar. Well, it's quite a big cellar. You had 3 or 4 big billiard tables in there. And he's taking into stock outdated diaries and all that sort of thing. And
the chappie, tell him about the chappie. Did you ever know Don Copeland? Poor old Donny had to get, well, they tossed him, more or less tossed him out of here.
Well, he was drinking a bottle of White Horse Scotch a day, and he was not doing the returns. And
he had loads of returns he hadn't worried about.
And the thing was offered to me at a very reasonable price, and I couldn't knock it back. We borrowed trestles and a plank from the show hall. That was a counter. Where am I up to?
Well, you had to go down and be vetted and...
Yes. Mr. Emery was the...
no, he was the news one.
He was in the news. Anyway, Don had lost the Gordon and Gotch agency, which was a fairly big agency in those days, and still is to a certain extent, with their paper distribution. And he'd lost that because he wasn't sending the returns in. So.
Oh, he probably wasn't paying them.
Well, he wasn't paying them, and so that's when I had to make a quick decision. I said, yes, we'll buy it. I had to go back and I had to borrow $5,000 from my dad, who gave it to me at 5% interest. And I couldn't pay it off quick enough. But
we actually bought it at the end of 1965, December 1965, just before, I always remember because of decimal currency coming in 66. And we set it up.
Talk about papers here, but of course, papers are pretty much finished now. One of the remarkable things is that the Leader is still going.
And they're doing very well. They're one of the best newspapers.
Yeah, well, I haven't got a Leader here now, but you know, I get to. In fact, my girls get the Leader for me every Wednesday morning. But there wouldn't be a day, it wouldn't be a week go past when I don't have a look through the Leader and see what's going on. Go to the Hatch, Match and Dispatch column to make sure I haven't
which is the best read section of the paper.
Yeah. And I have to say now I occasionally have a look at the Saturday Advertiser, have a look at, see if there's any Smiths in there, and there's a few, but none that I know. So, so it is a way of keeping up. But
the Leader's still going strong.
Leader's going really strong.
You guys still get the Leader?
Yeah.
Yep.
But everyone's always read the Leader.
Yes.
And the Herald, for some reason,
didn't go. It didn't do the local stories like the Leader. The Leader's always been good at that, picking up a local story or a local thing that's happening, whereas the Herald sort of, I don't know, it didn't quite take off, did it?
But even when the Herald had pictures and the Leader didn't, people still read the Leader
they've always
in preference.
That's something about the Valley. They're pretty loyal to their own, and they've always been very loyal to the Leader. I think they see it as their paper. It's something to be proud of. It's won all sorts of awards, and so therefore, you know, it's theirs, and so they support it.
Policy that they like to get as many local names of people and the activities they did. Your name was in the Leader, and I think that was probably a good move.
Yep.
But then they were quite prepared, or Peter was particularly with Robbie Robbie, he was willing to learn, and they went to the United States, didn't they? And they learnt how to do newspapers and how to do different printing and stuff. I remember him coming back and talking about that.
The new technology.
Yeah, the technology. They did. They kept up with stuff, and I think that helped them to remain, you know.
I remember old Robbo when I was doing the football.
Ray Robinson, or
was it Ray
Kirby.
I think Kirby was fairly a bit shorter fuse than the Ray was.
Easy to get on with, wasn't it?
A lot easier to get on with.
Yeah.
But they supported the frost combating.
Yeah, they did, didn't they, when you set up your frost control?
They saw the value of it. So we had this frost club, you could call it. This was for the whole of the valley and including a bit around Angaston, but the valley floor was vulnerable to frost, particularly with stone fruits and vines too. And they did the advertising. We used to advertise not to cultivate during the frost season because freshly cultivated ground was colder. So we'd get a little ad on the front, just top front part of the leader.
Yep.
And I don't think we ever paid for those, or if we did, it was very reasonable.
Yeah, they were good at all sorts. I mean, they really were set up for the community.
Quite unrelated things, so.
And anything that was happening, they would, be behind to make sure that it had good write-ups. And
yeah, well, it was Kirby then,
in the 80s.
Then Ray, and now Anthony.
Well, it might be Ray I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, it probably is, yeah.
I remember him having the blackened fingers.
Yeah.
And I have a recollection in the old building of him seeing the old racks with the type being set when he went into the office.
It's called a type, my son. Yeah. And I used to write a bit of the football for him, and I'd get in there, the two of them, old Kirby and Ray, they'd linotype side by side, very close to the edge of the building, and they had their backs against the footpath, went up past their backs, and clank, clank. They'd have a look up at the rack going, yeah, that's right. And those, they could type those things. You could have the lights off and they'd still be typing away. No,
but that's right, the footpath sort of was come past there. There was a window just in front with a...
Yeah. Well, their heads were about the window, the bottom of the window, and the footpath going up past them. So remember that very clearly. But they spent hundreds and thousands of hours.
Mind you, it's all changed. I wouldn't have a clue what goes on with all these computers and things now. But,
we only started newspapers in '65. That's when we got it from bought it from down the road.
Oh, well, it's a pain in the back side because some mornings the paper machine in those days you had to roll everything. First of all, my first memories of a paper delivery was when I was younger, when they used to get the advertiser and twist it. You ever heard of that? And then throw it out. Bend it and twist it. There's a special knack in doing it, and that you'd throw it without an opening.
I was delivering papers for the paper shop before he did, when a fellow named Robertson owned it, and used to get down there, I forget what time, up past 5 in the morning or whatever. The papers used to come in a bundle, and we used to roll them and then bend them, and they'd stay bent. They get a bit wrinkly, but they'd stay bent, and load up the box on the back of your push bike, and off it went.
Yeah! Fold it was like a boomerang. Solid.
And you had to fold them yourself?
Yeah, you had to, the papers came out flat, but we had to fold them in halves. No, we rolled them. No, we rolled them and then bent them. Right. You had to be careful bending them that you didn't rip 4 or 5 or 6 pages.
So they didn't unravel again.
Yeah. So you could flick them across the lawn, and once you emptied your box, you can go home. So called. I think we had to go in Friday afternoons when we got paid, but that was 7 days a week. So I did it for a couple of years, I suppose. So,
but you did it for many years until Richard.
Well, I went through a period of we had to get a machine, didn't we?
First of all,
how did we do it before we were
with rubber band?
Rubber bands, that's right.
Yes.
And then the machine came in and it had a single roll paper that would put a wrap around the paper about that size.
Center.
And then plastic came into it, and then now they do it all. It's a lot easier. See, we get all the papers already
wrapped.
And that was the biggest bugbear, because the machine would play up and you'd run out of the roll and you have to change it. This is 4:30 in the morning, and everybody expected to have their paper delivered by 6 o'clock, and if it wasn't, they'd ring the advertiser and say, "This, what's happened to what's the name?" And then you'd get a few guys that had been on the wine the night before, and they'd come up with some complaint they didn't get a paper. And if there was a missed paper, I always used to say, "Well, it could be one of 3 or 4 things." I said it could be the paper late. Number 2 was a dog could have picked it up. Next one was somebody could have pinched it. And lastly, it could have been my fault. But it was interesting, the people that owned the tourist hostel at one stage, she used to open up a little shop and she was sort of in opposition to us, and she always loved having a dig, you know, because we were perhaps a little bit bigger in the deli part, and she was down the other end and she wasn't getting the customers, and she kept complaining about not getting this paper, not getting this paper. And they had a little room on this block, a little sleeping quarters for something or other, and they had a very narrow laneway at the back between the next residence. And we went down there one day. I was absolutely sick of her complaining. I looked around and there was I couldn't count how many rolled papers were behind this.
What, a dog?
Her dog was picking it up every morning and putting it around there. And I can always remember how thrilled I was to get her, and I said, "Come here, Mrs. Derbyshire." Oh, we'll see. And then she was so apologetic. And we were friends after that forever. Richard is very popular in the shop, and it's just that it's... we probably had the best time in the shop when we were there, because there wasn't the opposition there is today, like
supermarket
at 7 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 at night. You know, Richard may have told you about that. I don't know, but
and weekends, you know, they'd close at 11:30 or something, and that's when we were busy. Saturdays, Sundays, early morning, late at night, and the supermarkets are all open now.
Well, you see, people go, it's a one-stop thing. They get everything in the supermarket, whereas they would get cigarettes and what's the name?
Do you remember we used to go down, we had to assemble the bikes and
cyclops. Oh, God, we've been through it, and there's so many things that we don't sell anymore. We've been fortunate. We've been able to educate the kids, and we've had quite a few overseas trips, and I've had the support of Lola all right through.
Possibly had your support too.
Well, 64 years of a marriage is a long time, and
never an argument. That's amazing.
Oh, no. If you can tell me a couple that have been married for 64 years and not had an argument, I'd like to see them.
Anyone who says that they haven't had an argument in 64 years is telling a lie.
We never ever quite got to the stage of deciding who was going to have half or anything, did we? I think. Oh, hopefully it won't happen now. But when I left the railways, the shop was in dire distress. It was practically at the stage of being closed. And I was working in the railways, and my father, we had a discussion one night, and I said, well, I'd like to go into the business. My father had 2 properties. He had an orchard up Valley Road with quite a few vines and apricots and peaches and all that sort of thing. So it was, I'm jumping a bit, aren't I?
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I thought there was the possibility, and I always remember a representative from Paulson's Refrigeration, a salesman. I'm standing there in my porter's uniform with a cocky little hat on the side, buying a £1,500 counter refrigerator, and he kept sort of looking at me. Am I having him on, all that sort of thing?
It would have been a lot of money when he's talking about it. It would have been a lot of money.
But I was serious because I was about to leave the, I am jumping a bit. I was about to leave the railways, and I put my long service leave money down on a deposit on this £1,500. Great big long display counter and all that sort of thing.
And we were the first ones in the town to have a deep freeze. It was about so big.
I'll only break the glass. The other day I used to cover my tomatoes. But what happened was, I could see we sold fruit and vegetable in those days. And there was 5 people selling fruit and vegetable in the town. There was 2 chaps that had come into the town with their trucks, Birdsall in it and Hugo Wraithall, right?
Mm.
And they were in opposition to one another, keeping the price down and shouting abuse across the road to one another. And then there was old Turners at it. And then we had it. There were 5 anyway, I can't remember the other one. And I said, well, how are we going to get through this? So I stayed in the railways, bought a real old truck, and I started a fruit and vegetable delivery. Mm-hmm. And that was where we
picked up.
I was going twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, Wednesday to the market. That was a bit later on though, wasn't it, when we bought the van. And I was on 2 shifts, morning and afternoon shift. And I used to, if I was on afternoon shift, I'd do the vegetable round in the morning. Anyway, it grew to such an extent that we had 2 vehicles on the road, my brother working for me, and for my parents. And that started in 1948 when we got the Ford Ute. My dad, that was another thing. He said, how am I going to pay for this Ford Ute? It was about 400 and something pound, you know, after the war. And I said, well, we'll make it. And I think we got to the stage where we'd sell 100 pounds worth of fruit and veg of a Friday. And that was a lot of money. And that was the turning point. And
it's dead right. In the you couldn't get that stuff here at the old Udunda Farmers. They
didn't sell it.
They didn't sell it. No. You go and buy a bag of flour or eggs or whatever, but no vegetables. Yeah, no, the supermarkets have. We're going to say, done a lot of damage. They've done a lot of damage to small specialist businesses, but from Mum's point of view, shopping, the supermarkets are fantastic. Yeah, so particularly if you're going in with a couple of young kids. So
they probably hear less gossip.
Yeah, probably.
Because going into Schultz's was hear all about it, or Turner's.
We bought through an agent, the Schubert brothers. Had a big market, and they were very good. I'd have my order. He wants to go out. You're hooked up still, aren't you?
Oh, I'm right.
Just take a video.
Schubert brothers, yeah. And then we could. Chappie at Newry, Hoffman, started up. He used to grow carrots, and he had trucks going to he had 2 trucks going to the market every day, and they would be bringing back fruit and veg, and they called it. Well, it was a depot actually. There were people coming from Marrable, Udunda, Kapunda, Angaston. 2 of us going down there buying our fruit and veg. Sitting there waiting for the truck to come back, and then fighting over who got the ripest bananas and all that sort of thing.
Well, I can clearly remember, in my teenage years, a fellow named Doug Wraithall and Roger mentioned Wraithall before, but would have been his son, I presume. They used to park a truck under the tree out here, the Moreton Bay Fig. In those days, Doug played football, but there'd be a mad panic for him to get rid of all the stuff he had to sell before he got on the bus to go to play football at Udunda or wherever they were going. And but in those days, Miles has certainly had greengrocery. I don't remember Turner's having it, but...
It was a brother to the other Turner.
Oh, really?
They had the butcher shop there and the fruit shop there.
Mm. So they were two Turner brothers. One had the fruit and veg, and one had the butcher shop. Yeah.
Mm.
Percy, obviously, with the butcher shop. What was the brother's name? Don't know. Mr. Turner.
Yep.
For a while there, you had no butcher shop in Angaston. When Brossifine Foods bought Schultz's, and then for a brief time, they shut down the shop.
That's right, yeah, I'd forgotten that. Turner's have been gone for years, and Murchie, when he shut down his shop, alongside the paper shop, or alongside Miles's, we did it. They were missing for a little while, not very long. They set up in Newry, pinched a couple of staff from Schultz's who went down there, and have subsequently drifted back here. So
I gather it was it Robert Hill Smith and someone else made it happen. They went and approached Peter and said, "Look, how about coming back?" But I wanted to ask Peter about when you came into when everything changed, because Brossifine Foods was owned last time I spoke to you at the back here. What happened when some of the locals decided they wanted their butcher shop back?
It was Robert Hill Smith and Damon DeRuda from 40s. Yep. They were the main ones that sort of wanted to keep the shop open for the town and for the locals. Yep. So we were fortunate enough to have them as very good mentors. Yes. Helped us out. We had several group meetings. Located it, renamed it the Bross's Smokehouse Butchers. Beautiful butcher shop. So we were fortunate enough to have them too as good mentors, and it's just, we couldn't be more happier.
Yeah, so Peter and Steve and his daughter's working there now. Then they got Tracy, who used to work for Schultz's and then went to Brossifine Foods, is back with them. Great. The reason Brossifine Foods bought Schultz's butcher shop, or bought the business, was that time so they could put Brossifine Foods on their small goods.
It was all made down there.
It's all made down there.
Small goods operation, yep.
So they could do that, And then they went to Europe, and that closed up eventually because that went bad. And Peter Barratt, who started at Schultz's before I finished up, Peter came down to Newry with them, and things weren't going well, and Peter then ended up, they said, Peter, they didn't need a manager, they'll just put someone else, and Peter could have gone to work for him in the factory, and he didn't want to do that. So eventually, Peter and another Steve that worked for Schultz's for years, had been up there with Peter beforehand and went in Brossifine Foods. Some of the business people of Angaston helped them get back into the business. Yes. And so now it's known as the Bross's Smokehouse.
We try and keep everything here old school, but just the way they break up beef, lambs, the whole lot was just all hand saw. These days it's zoom through the bloody bandsaw and it's done. Yeah. The younger lads today, they break up beef on the hook, whereas back when I was taught by Ray and Vern Munchenberg and all those, Kenny Bain,
Maxie Bain, smallest fingers ever, Max. Smallest hands I ever saw on a bloke.
I didn't work with him.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't?
I worked with Ken.
Yeah, Kenny.
Yeah.
So were you a red Fritz or a yellow Fritz?
Red.
You were red?
Well, we only really shopped in Turner's.
You what?
Only,
you really only shopped in Turner's?
Mum. Until that closed.
You only knew red Fritz?
That's the same colour there we use there.
Oh, okay.
That's what you used to get?
No, ours was this colour. Sort of that radish. In Turner's.
Oh, Turner's might have been? Yeah. I'm not talking about here.
No, here, only came here, well, Mother, when they closed up.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah, well, that's what I call orange Fritz.
Yeah.
Red Fritz was really red.
Yeah.
And it was smaller in diameter, obviously because that's the way the casings came, I guess. And a sort of a plastic casing. It was a bit different.
No, well, this wasn't plastic.
Oh, these aren't plastic.
Sorry, Richard, you jump in there. Hey?
These aren't plastic.
No. Well, that's the natural casing. But the red one was plastic, and it was obviously came smaller, and so that was a smaller fritz. You don't remember it, Richard?
Well, no, but
Nah,
plastic.
I would have thought.
No.
Yeah, it was plastic. It
Size was
was a breathable plastic. That's what Ray says in here.
When I started at Turner's, we used to do the bung fritz the same as Schultz's in the bungs, and we used the yellow dye, and that was yellow fritz right then. And then we end up changing. They used to have plastic casings, but then it wasn't Master Butcher's, another firm came out with these other casings, which was a straight thing, and it wasn't a real plastic casing. It was the same type of thing.
Molly.
But it would breathe more than plastic. Real plastic doesn't breathe, and it would breathe, and that's when Turner started using, or Bob started using that, and then that's when we started using the red dye on that sort of thing. And I reckon it might have been, eventually we might have even been able to buy the casings already coloured, and I'm not too sure, but no, I don't think, I think we used to have to put the dye in there, so it was a red dye.
And Turner's fritz was a little bit sweeter and more compact.
Yes.
Always the best meat. He was very particular about the meat he put in his fritz.
Percy Turner used to always buy calves between probably 16 and 21 weeks of age, and all that 4/4 meat off of those calves, he bought that regularly. All the 4/4 meat off that, we didn't put over the counter, that all went into the fritz. So it was real good veal meat that went into it, and then a bit of pork and a little bit of other beef and that sort of meat. But that's why it made it. And I can still remember, I mean, it was such a, we had just this normal, smallest mincer you could ever think of, and we used to have to put that through that mincer. It used to go through once, and then after that, after it was all mixed up, it went through 3 more times through the mincer to get it fine enough and all that sort of stuff.
Because it was notably finer than Schultz's fritz.
That's right, yes. So that was the general
We never
idea.
tasted Schultz's fritz then.
It was always better on the barbecue, Turner's fritz, because of maybe the extra moisture in it.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, yeah, that's right. And I think it's, I reckon the secret of it was the veal that went into it. You know, the real good. It was real good meat.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just smooth. Like when you cut it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Are you red fritz people or yellow fritz people?
Red fritz people.
Oh yeah.
Was the red one.
Yeah. But the other,
Fritzy.
but no, you liked Schultz's, didn't you?
Yeah, Fritzy Schultz.
Yeah, Fritzy Schultz's.
Yeah.
So you're one of the households, there were many of them, had both in the fridge.
Most probably.
We always did, because I liked Schultz's.
Yes.
Everyone else liked the Turners, but sorry, Bill.
The early days, they all did deliveries. Turners, I don't know about Schultz's.
They did?
Yeah, they did.
They used to do out here. Christmas would come, you'd make the order for the next week and they'd deliver.
Yes, you see him coming up the driveway there, and the dogs and us kids would all leg it over there, because he'd be cutting off huge slabs of fritz.
That would have been someone else.
That would have been
Schultz's. It was orange fritz.
Yeah, and that would have been Ken Bame.
He gave so much away, it wasn't funny.
That's right.
He did.
Because as he done around, everyone, quite a few people give him another port, and as he got towards the end of the round, they'd be giving more away. Anyway, that was Ken.
And you had ice delivered, the old ice chests. Of course, the early days, quite more recent times too. Rawleys and Watkins were
Used to come. Rawley's men always came. That's right.
Flavourings for different things.
And medical stuff.
And stuff. Yeah. So a lot of things were delivered. And then when the co-op store,
they had a van that used to come
They had
out.
2 vans on the road.
We had one come out.
And in '66, I know it was the first transaction my father did in decimal currency. We bought the old comma van.
From the co-op.
And we took the van off, and it was a truck then to use in the orchard. But that was '66. After that, the co-op didn't deliver anymore, and that was the end of a lot of deliveries at that time. So,
when I used to do the Angaston round, I mean, that would be, you'd probably be from 9 o'clock in the morning by the time you got out, and you'd be back by 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and that sort of thing. And I said, yeah, it was really good. And I'm trying to think as far as when we come think of Turner's Fritz, Bob Longman, I don't know whether you probably didn't know Bob, but he was a senior there when I started. He'd been in the Air Force and that sort of thing, and besides that he'd been on stations, but he must have done some butchering beforehand. But he was the one that was in charge of all the small goods. So it was more or less Bob that the Fritz and the black and white pudding and all that sort of thing, he was the one right behind that. Bob would have started there straight after the war, probably 1946. And I reckon it was Bob that had the Fritz recipe really, but it was always known as Turner's Fritz.
When Malcolm and I was running our bees down through the southeast, mainly Canalpin, and through that area on the Lucid and that, we left a piece of Fritz in the caravan that we towed around, and we forgot to bring it home, and it was still right the next time we went there.
Is that right?
Because it was full of salt, you see.
That's amazing.
Bill never wanted to be a butcher, he wanted to be a doctor.
He wanted to be a doctor, and he could have been a doctor. He's tied up at St John's and that sort of thing, but he just had to carry on with the family show. That's what it boiled down to. Yeah, so
but he was in charge of the Red Fritz, so which was what everyone called it, Red Fritz. Any other stories from Angaston in the good old days?
Oh, well, if you, as you say, if ever you make a video of it, well, it'd be a different story.
And then I can remember, when we had the flood, I was standing under Keatley's veranda there because the chicken shop was next door. So I thought, oh yes, I had a class, go and get some chicken. And the rain started to come, you were standing there on the veranda watching the water go down the street, and I suddenly realised, it could come down the basement. So I took off very quickly, but it just lapped Sue's door and it went past my door. So that was, a close call.
And this is early 80s?
Yes. Yes.
I remember a big flood in around about 83.
That would have been it, yes. And I was still living out on the farm at 10 o'clock at night. And I thought, and my brother was out there at that time. Better come in and have a look to see, because there's the creek at the back. And anyway, we came in and the water was all going the other side. There's a nice bank there, so the front was clear, the back was clear. And actually, it wasn't long after that the lady, Mrs. Young, decided to sell it. So then I bought the building. Well, I knew it wasn't going to get flooded, so I was safe from that point of view.
1983.
What happened?
March 83, yeah, we had 10 inches of rain in several hours, so huge. We got flooded at home. But we were lucky here. It had just got to the, just literally about to come under the door, and that's as far as it got. Wow. So the creek was running a bank from bank to bank out the back. Huge amount of water going down there, but I wasn't too much worried about here. I wasn't here, but out home we were in all sorts of strife. So
cool. You got flooded pretty well, didn't you?
We did, yeah. We were in a hell of a mess, but that was once. Well, they talked about it once in 100-year flood, but I know we had 10 inches of rain in a few hours. So and it was in at the end of a drought. It hadn't rained for 6 months probably, and the water there was no soaking in. The water, the rain hit and just took straight off. So. I had a nice swimming pool out the back that when the water disappeared, I had a nice mud pond. Down the deep end, we had about 6 feet of mud in the bloody thing. So all good fun. Yeah,
we were in a mess after that.
Were we ever?
Because it was most of it. We had an apple block then on the property, and most of the apples ended up on the high school oval. Wow. They got washed away, and then we had mud and rubbish up so high in the trees, that had to be taken out, and we had an old car and come into the block that got washed in there. Yeah. So, and then the house didn't get water in it. The outbuildings
back part did.
Yeah, and the outbuildings did, but yeah.
Water was coming up we put the plug in the bathtub because it was coming up the wrong
through
way.
The date was?
2nd of March.
2nd of March, 1983.
It was my birthday.
Is that right?
I was managing Hoffman's Winery at the time.
Right.
And we had old piping underneath the wine cellars because it was into the hillside, and the pressure from the river, we had a jet coming up out of the floor.
Wow.
So we all packed up and went home. Nights we were struggling to get from Continental to Angaston because of the floods, and there was fence posts and all sorts across the road, and it was a mess.
Was.
And we said to say we had the cats and the birds all in the bathtub, wouldn't we? To
Yeah,
save
I rescued.
Yeah.
Four-wheel drive at the back door. That's a long story why it ended up there.
Because Don was funny because they were at high school then. The boys were at high school, and we lost Don for a while, and anyhow he came back and. Over in the shed, he'd worked hard during fruit season, and he'd bought him a four-wheel motorbike.
No, a three-wheeler.
Three-wheeler one, and he was over in the shed putting it up on the forklift, so it didn't get in the flood with. That's why we lost him, because he was saving his bike.
But the '83 flood was bigger in Newry in that area in '83, but the 1913 what was Porter and Clark's garage, which was just up from Miles's, between that and the bank, was the old Austin agency.
Where the bistro was and...
Yeah.
That was
Coco.
A garage before the Porter and Clark's, from what I can gather. And water came down off the hill behind. It was a brand new building, and it had swing doors on it with a big bar across it to close it. And water came in and it was filling up behind this door. And the owner at the time decided he was going to try and save the building, so he got a sledgehammer to knock this bar out. But when it came apart, because all this water gushed out and nearly washed him into the floodwaters in the creek, and it sort of curled around and he washed back onto the street, onto the footpath where he started from, but he nearly got drowned in that. But that was a big flood in 1913. It was a thunderstorm. So
that's a good story.
Yeah, there'd be plenty that could tell that history, and there's old photos of the street in Angaston at that time.
That's the Miles block of shops after the flood.
After the flood of 1913? Wow, look at that. Which was the real big one, apparently?
Yeah. We've had 1913 and 2000
1983?
1983. 1982 we had droughts and fires, and as of the 2nd of March in 1983 we had a flood. The biggest we've had since 1913,
Yeah. We got a few days off school.
Yeah.
Well, I was at Newry High then.
Right.
Grade 8. And of course the school was flooded.
Angaston shopping and Angaston stores, Angaston businesses in the main street. I have made a study over the years. There's always been about 40 businesses operating.
Really? Of course the nature of the businesses has probably changed.
Yes, we were into the food, eating and dining. It's quite remarkable.
Is that pretty much right?
When I first come up here, met Errol and come up here, there was nowhere to eat or anything like that. And when I had Paul and perhaps Kate as well walk down the street and they were thirsty, it would have been Paul because he walked and Kate was in the pram, I'd have to go into the hotel so you could sit down and get them a drink. There was no seat in the street, there was nothing, you know. It was just, and my mum and dad used to bring me up and they'd come up and want lunch, and there was nowhere you could have lunch and perhaps get something from the baker and stuff, but nowhere to sit.
That's right, you get a takeaway pasty.
Yeah, but that was it, yeah.
And Vaughan's had a shop there prior to Hambers and that in the middle of the street, they had a bit of a dining room.
Correct.
At the back. They had the counters and shop part at the front, and they had a dining room at the back with a lot of tables and chairs in. But
well, I remember when I was a kid here in the 80s, if you were going out for dinner, you were either going to the pub, or if you're going to a restaurant, you were going to the Chinese restaurant at Newry.
Then the bistro was the first.
Restaurant, that's right.
And the first restaurant in Angaston was Mrs. Derbyshire's Wanera.
Ah, so it's been here that long?
They had a little shop in part of it, and then there was another door to go into the Wanera accommodation hostel sort of thing, but she also had a large dining room down there, because when I worked at the hotel, she was looking for people to serve. She had some special busloads or people coming in.
Yeah, she brought coachloads of people to Angaston, which was a new venture for us, having coaches coming on a regular basis. And she got the first restaurant licence.
Is that right?
He's written books on the history of Angaston,
well,
so
that covers.
Because he did one on the corner store, didn't he?
He did this book of all the old businesses and how they'd changed hands and different ones, but of course that's an ongoing story, of course, as the years go by.
I'm sort of setting out to
yeah,
do here.
well, that's what is happening now. So,
and Lola's been mixed up in Provis and what do you mean, kindergarten? You were president of the
Mothers and Babies.
Mothers and Babies.
And secretary for a while.
yes, that.
You would have used that?
Yeah, absolutely. That was my introduction to Angaston and getting to know people. I went there when Ian was born, and Jill Hearn was very much involved in that, and she encouraged me a lot and supported me a lot and got me involved in things. But yeah, that was going to the meetings.
Did you use it, Gloria?
Yes, I took my two of them on down there to Mothers and Babies.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yes. And you met other girls and all that. So it was good, yes.
Oh, wonderful building.
Yeah, it was, yeah, and it was great for us new mums.
It'd be a great spot for a cafe, wasn't it?
It would be, wouldn't it, down there? But you know,
mind you, it'd be nice if it was Mothers and Babies too.
They don't do Mothers and Babies organisation anymore. That's not around, is it? I don't know.
Well, they should.
Yeah.
A lot of the old ways are the best.
Yes, well, it was. Well, you learned a lot at that, about how to manage babies.
Yep. Well, it's been really good. Thank you very much, Mary. Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Good job.
Oh.